You said you're a Christian.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Yeah. What evidence do you have for Islam?
What evidence? The Quran, the religion. Do you know why?
Because of birth rates.
No, not only that.
Why the
Even in this country, where the birth rate is almost identical to the non-Muslims here, even here, there are lots of Christians and non-Christians, yes, who are accepting Islam. Do you know why that is? Because the message of Islam is clear-cut.
What about the 80% of converts?
Can you let me finish, brother? You don't interject when I'm finishing. I'll let you speak, no problem. Okay? The message of Islam is clear. Who God is clear.
You asked me a question, that's why I answered. But
yeah, but that was the other. Then I was answering.
Yeah.
Okay? Because you said birth rate, so you already answered that. And then I was responding to that. Thank you very much for your time, Vince. You take care. Okay? So, yeah, he'll need it. Thank you. So what I'm saying is that the message of Islam about the oneness of Allah is very clear. Even a child can understand. Try doing that with the Trinity or this pantheon of gods in the Hinduism.
What if the
Trinity
is right, though?
Yeah, but the Trinity is
right.
What
if Hinduism is right? Would you accept it?
But I don't believe in Hinduism.
No.
Because
what if the Hinduism is right? Would you accept it?
Well, yeah. What if Islam is right? I would accept it.
Right. So it's not about which religion, it's about what is right.
Yeah.
How do we distinguish what is right is the question, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right. You tell me objectively, when there are so many religions, what criteria are we going to choose to decipher and determine by assessing what is true and what is not?
Evidence.
What evidence?
What evidence would you present for me for...
No, not present for you. You are a seeker of truth.
What is the criteria for...
And you have now Christianity, Zionism, Buddhism, Taoism, Islam, Christianity, whatever, right? So many religions. What criteria do you think we should be using to get us to the right answer?
What is your criteria for identifying the truth from the falsehood, basically, in a nutshell?
Yeah.
Well, evidence takes many forms.
Yeah, let's see which ones
would you use?
Objective and something that is applicable across all forms of religion, not just Christianity.
Yeah, if there was an event that I can attribute to God, a specific God, then I would call that evidence for that religion.
So, if you are not contemporaneous to that event, how would you ascertain that this was true? That happened 2,000 years ago, 1,000 years ago.
The historical critical method uses a lot of methods, including criterion of multiple attestation, criterion of embarrassment, dissimilarity, and so on and so forth, to ascertain what most likely happened in the past. So we agree that...
I don't agree with that. Okay, do you agree? Do you agree?
Wait. What do you not agree with?
I'll tell you.
Okay.
Historical critical method. It's got so many faults.
Okay.
Do you agree because of the...
So what method should we use?
I can tell you, but I want to give you an example why I say so.
Okay.
In the hieroglyphics in the pyramids and the tombs, it's not one record, hundreds literally, talking about God of the overworld and God of the underworld. Mm-hmm. So we have multiple attestation, contemporaries for that time, because that's the time when they wrote it.
History.
People wrote it. God of the underworld, God of the underworld. It looks like how can there be two gods? It goes against this idea of embarrassment. Like you'd be embarrassed to believe in two gods, but they wrote it. So that means according to that method, what they're saying is credible. So do you now believe historically it's true that there exist two gods, God of the overworld at least and God of the underworld at least?
Hold up, sorry.
Based on history, because one of your criteria was history.
You used the historical critical method.
One of your criteria was history.
Early documents.
There are multiple.
No, there has to be very early records. There have to be multiple attestations. Many people talking about it, writing about it, documented. Right? Principal embarrassments where they will write something which even goes against their own thing. Like, for example...
Well, that was to determine what happened in the past, not necessarily which one was the right religion.
You talked about historical critical method.
Yeah, because you asked me, how would we know something would happen
May I ask you one thing? Can you tell me the criteria of historical critical method? I gave you 3, but maybe I am wrong. So which ones are they according to historical critical method?
Multiple attestation, dissimilarity, embarrassment.
That's what I said.
Eyewitness testimony.
That's okay. Primary witnesses. Right. So that's what I'm talking about. So now
But that's for what happened in the past. I'm not talking about...
But history is about the past.
Okay.
History has to be about the past.
Did Prophet Jesus, Prophet Moses and Prophet Muhammad live today or in the historical past?
My question was, how do I know Islam is true? And then you asked...
What's the criteria?
How do I know something happened in the past?
Yes.
No.
My question now...
No. We asked you the criteria to differentiate the truth from the falsehood.
Do we know?
You gave the criteria of multiple attestations from history.
No, but he asked me
Yeah, of course he asked you. That's why you gave the answer. Now he's analyzing your answer.
No. But the answer I gave for the right religion is, how do I know that this is the right religion? Because God performed the miracle, and I can attribute it to that God.
Okay, so now you change your criteria.
I didn't. Change it.
Okay. So let's
on tape.
No.
Of course it's on tape.
Come on, let's take that. So to know
So
what is a
miracle is
true
one of them.
religion is when we identify miraculous event from a religious historical account, right?
No. Why historical?
Yeah, it doesn't have to be historical.
Yeah.
And
So
if today the Hindu god Ganesh with his trunk drinks milk, that's true, right? Must be God.
The
True
idol,
God.
not the real elephant.
Yeah.
So
that will prove Ganesh being God.
Because we already assumed Ganesh drank the milk.
No, if you can observe that this
Yeah,
miraculous
we can
event.
observe.
No, they consider it as miracle.
If you
so would you
observe-
accept that criteria that Ganesh, which is an idol of this elephant god, actually sucks milk?
Yeah.
Actually
Would you?
sucks milk.
Yes.
Yeah, miracle.
What
It's
is-
a miracle, man. It's a miracle.
They claim it's a miracle.
That's the claim.
Okay.
How do you establish
If
miracles?
you could demonstrate that claim.
So how do you establish miracles? Have you got any example of miracles today about Christianity?
I was asking for truth about the miracles about
But
Islam.
if you can't accept something from Islam, then I need to know whether or can or cannot whether you accept it from saying, I want you to be consistent. Are you consistent?
I am consistent.
Good. So if a miraculous event happens in Islam,
Yes.
yeah, people suddenly start walking when they couldn't walk. Will you accept it Islam to be true?
If people started walking when they couldn't
If
walk.
a disabled person, less able person, couldn't walk at all, and suddenly there's Allahu Akbar and started walking and running, would you consider by that event, which seems miraculous to me, Islam is true? Would you consider that?
Depends why they couldn't walk.
Let's say they were
couldn't walk.
permanently disabled.
They couldn't walk at all. It's
Like
that
if they have no legs.
They were permanently no.
They had legs, but they're disabled, right?
Or they grew legs. Let's say.
I don't know, because like people, there's a thing called spontaneous remediation where people naturally come out of their infirmities,
Okay.
sicknesses.
A Muslim start walking in water. Would you believe Islam is true because of that? Because we have a lot of accounts for a lot of our Muslims doing that same thing.
Where, I'm curious. I'm really curious. What
Would you believe Islam is true if you verified that information?
if I verified it? Yeah, sure. Why not?
So if now this miraculous event, how would you verify it just out of interest? Because you haven't witnessed it yourself? Testimony?
That would be one of many factors. Yes.
So
And of
yes,
course-
there are lots of testimony. In fact, hundreds and thousands of testimony
Actually, there's
that Prophet Muhammad SAW is a prophet of
There's a
God.
better counter argument to your miracle.
Are they eyewitnesses? What
Yeah,
are
they're
they
eyewitnesses.
What are they witnessing? The
They
stunning of
witness
the moon?
miracles.
No, wait. Mansur,
What
before we go on to the eyewitnesses, you mentioned miracles as being one of your criteria to accept the truth. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. You know you'll be the first one to follow the Antichrist because he'll do miracles.
It says signs. It doesn't say.
Will you accept the Antichrist as
Oh
the truth?
yeah, you'll be his follower.
You'll be the first one. If that is your criteria, you'll be the first one to follow.
And I also said if I can attribute it to a certain God.
No, you just corrected yourself down.
In fact, the Bible says
it's on there.
there will be time
he will
in the
say.
future.
He will say.
I said if I can attribute it to a certain
He will say
God,
he is
the
God.
act-
You know, just like the way you claim Jesus is God,
and I know
he
he's
will
not-
claim that he's God.
and
But
I
doesn't
know
the
he's not
doesn't the Bible say the false
And I
prophets
know that
will
he-
do wonders and miracles?
Exactly.
So the question
Sorry,
was
what's your name?
Apollos.
Apollos. Doesn't the Bible say, which you believe in, presumably?
Yeah.
Doesn't the Bible say the false prophets that will arise in the future, they will do wonders and miracles?
The disciples will do greater
Yeah.
miracles than him.
They will do false prophets.
Yeah.
So,
So,
false.
so they're God according to you.
So false prophets.
So miracle is not a sign of God.
Apollos.
No, it's one of many signs.
Can we concentrate on that? False prophets will do miracles.
So then the question becomes, how do you know one miracle from the other? A false
prophets,
miracle, right?
False prophets will do true miracles.
Yeah. No, false prophets will also do true
So
miracles.
when I say false
So does that
miracles,
mean
I'm not saying
these
I'm not
false
saying
prophets
that
are
it cannot. When I say false miracle, I'm not saying that it is not miraculous. What I am saying is that its degree, its power cannot be attributed to the Most High God. You see what
Look,
I'm saying?
if miracle determines the veracity and truthfulness of a religion, like you're discussing, if someone does a miracle, that religion is true. False prophets, according to the Bible, will do miracles. That means that the religion of the false prophet is true, according to your criteria. Be consistent.
I am being consistent.
Okay, look,
How are
anyway,
you consistent?
you know,
I said that if I can attribute it to the act of a certain God,
He says my God tells me that. And my God is a banana.
That's just him saying.
Imagine a false God says, my God is a banana, it tells me, and he does the miracles. Because Bible says they can do miracles. Imagine that false prophet who says, my God is a
It doesn't
banana.
say to the level of Jesus Christ.
Please. Miracles, it's not about levels.
But sir, you're straw manning me.
Can you read Matthew 24:24? This is 24.
Yeah, let the Bible speak.
24:24.
Yeah, that's the 24.
So are you saying that you
For
believe
false
Jesus?
Christs and false prophets will rise and perform great signs and wonders, so to lead astray, if possible, even the elect.
Right, great
When the
miracles.
false prophet do the miracle,
Great
Yeah,
miracles.
great miracles.
Great, not
Based
little
on your
one,
logic.
great.
It doesn't say the most high. It doesn't say a miracle greater than Jesus Christ.
What is Jesus Christ's greatest miracle?
Resurrection.
No, he didn't do that himself.
Wait, what do you mean resurrection?
Well,
How can that be a miracle?
His resurrection, that is easily
No.
ascertainable.
What did he do?
What I'm interested in.
That is neither
You're not
historical
answering
nor
now.
eyewitness.
What are the miracles he did that the false prophets won't be able to do much?
What false prophets have?
I want to know, what miracles did Christ perform that the false prophets cannot match? Give me an example of what Christ has done. Turning water into wine, they can do better than that, false prophets. Even the very
He rose
disciples
from the dead.
will be
He rose
misled.
from the
No,
dead.
that's not what he did. God raised him from the dead, according to the Bible.
God did it. Okay. You verified Christianity by raising him from the
No, according to the Bible,
God the Father.
I'm only saying your text says God raised him. So that means your claim that Jesus did a
God the
miracle
Father
is
raised him.
debunked because he didn't do anything. God did it. So come back again now. What did he do miracle-wise?
But he just admitted that God can refer to many things.
Apollos.
So in that,
Jesus
that God
Christ.
refers
When
to
did I
God
say
the
that?
Father.
What did
That
Jesus
when we're
Christ
talking
do?
about Hebrews 1:8,
That's your Bible.
Apollos.
Not that,
Apollos. What miracles did
No.
Christ
No,
do?
in Islam,
What
Allah
miracles
doesn't
did
refer to
Christ
anyone
do
else.
that the false prophet won't be able to match? Which ones did he do?
There is many witnesses.
what if he didn't do it? What if it was God who did it? Why does that matter?
Your criteria of miracles means
See, I
a
never said
religion.
he personally did it.
Can you-
I never
can you-
said that.
So you know
I never
what?
said that.
Try another one. What makes
If
a
someone
religion
else
true?
does the miracle.
You know what? Let's leave that. Let's start again. What makes a religion true? We have to start with another criteria. Miracle debunked. It goes against you.
Yeah.
So try again.
Because the false prophets can do miracles.
So how would we determine a religion is true based on what criteria? Miracle criteria goes against you. Self-defeating.
What part goes against me? Just the fact that a prophet can do a miracle. But I said
A
that
false prophet can do miracles, but it doesn't mean their religion is true.
If I can attribute that miracle to a false god,
But he says, my God is a banana. It's not what you attribute. The one who performs the miracle is the one who makes the claim.
No, but hold
You
on.
can't say, no, this is Teenage Ninja Turtles done it. He says, my
Oh, no,
banana
no,
God has
he
done
keeps
it.
saying he can attribute it to God. Let me
understand?
ask you,
No,
if
but
someone
The
does a
one,
miracle,
the one who performs the miracle is the one who's claiming who's done it.
Apollo, what miracle Jesus did which makes him God?
and makes him God.
Yeah.
you don't
because he
believe
says-
Jesus is God?
You don't believe Jesus is
No,
God?
I believe Jesus is God.
Why he's God?
Because your criteria was miracle. So what miracle makes Jesus God?
He vindicated his ministry by raising from the dead,
So you're saying a God can...
or God rose him from
Wait,
the
wait.
dead.
So you're
What
saying
about
God...
Honey the Circle Drawer?
No, Mansur, wait,
He
wait.
did perform so many miracles.
Do you even know what that
No, no.
story is?
You know, did,
Yeah, do you?
Respectfully.
Do you?
Honey the
Yeah,
circle
one
drawer
at a time.
drew a
Yes,
circle
it
in the
looks back.
sand
And?
said, if the God is with us, something to the effect of like, he called for rain, pretty much, and he said, I won't step outside of the circle until it rains, and it rained. I mean, of course it rains. That's not a miracle.
So when he makes a claim, it happens. For example, now wish for rain. Now let's see if that happens. Go on, wish for rain.
No, it never said it was
See if you can do
immediate.
it. Wish
He
for
said-
rain.
in fact, in the text, I'm pretty sure it says he waited.
Why do scholars consider that he was taken to be as someone also who does all these miracles? Honey the Circle Drawer. I read that in the book by the agnostic
That's
Bart
cool.
Ehrman.
That's cool. That's cool.
Right.
That's cool that you called.
So-
that's cool that you read a book and you want to say that.
I didn't make it up.
And
That's what
that
I mean.
people-
Not a book. I didn't make it up.
I'm not saying you made it up.
It's in academia already.
I'm just saying that for me, I don't see that as a miracle because that's not miraculous. I don't.
You know, he said the greatest miracle was Jesus rising from the dead. Is that what he said?
Yeah.
How about
Yeah?
you?
For you, does God need to rise from the dead if he doesn't die at all?
Say that again.
It's silly,
Does
isn't it?
God need to resurrect if he doesn't die in the first place?
Does God need to die? If he
How
doesn't?
can someone resurrect when they didn't die?
Okay, let me rephrase the question.
Yeah.
Does death or resurrection apply to an immortal being? Listen carefully.
Immortal
Does
being.
either death or resurrection apply to an immortal being?
Not to his immortality.
No. Immortality is predicated on an entity. It doesn't float in the air. You see what I mean? So, is God immortal according to you?
Yeah.
If God is immortal,
but
then
the
he neither
Trinity-
dies.
The Trinity teaches that Jesus had two natures. So
Even if it's two natures, the person, we're talking about the person.
What are you saying? The two natures are immortal? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm asking who is immortal from the three persons?
All of them.
All of them? So who died on the cross?
Jesus.
One of them?
His human nature died. His spirit.
Remember, it's not about the what, it's about the who. You keep going to the what. The what is the
How do I
natures.
know that? And besides, we're talking about evidence for Islam anyway.
Yeah. The evidence for Islam is.
I got you that.
Evidence for Islam is.
Just like
Islam,
you said, you got it.
Islam gives you two things. One is the positive evidence, and one is the falsification test. So let's start with falsification test, because we had the opportunity for 1,445 years almost to falsify Islam. The Quran says, if you think it's not from God, what you have to do is produce a surah like the Quran, and if your doubt is true, if you can't do it yourself, seek your helpers and supporters to do that job.
Okay.
That's it.
So your
Now,
criterion is what makes it like the Quran?
one second. Do you understand that there is a challenge already about this, how to falsify the Quran?
I understand that
Right.
there's.
Have
Wait.
people-
Let me answer your question. I understand that there is a test. I don't accept the validity of that test because it doesn't qualify what it means like the Quran.
Okay.
What does it mean? Like miraculous?
So for example,
We'll explain.
So if I say bring a cap like unto this with a Dawahwise logo, by the way, if you didn't know, if you're watching, you should be watching on Dawahwise channel, right? Because we are discussing from Dawahwise. I don't know why people, that's the Dawahwise logo. If I say bring a cap like this with a Dawahwise logo, it's not shameless plug-in because we need to. So, and you bring this cap, excuse me. Is it the same?
No.
Okay. Now, did I put forward any criteria? Did I have to spell it out? I only said bring it like it. Only one word. Like it, mithli, like this. Now, how are you going to say this criteria, this just is not valid?
Because it's black. And
No.
What are you saying? What are you even saying?
You know what like means? Come on.
Yeah, I know what like.
Let's not
So
try to.
when the Quran, so let's now explain a bit more. Let's explain a bit more. When the Quran says bring a surah like it, that means we need to know how is a surah like. So when we read the surah, we exactly know how a
But
surah
how do I know that's a test and that would make it from God?
The Quran says.
When the
Quran
Quran,
says?
if you seem to be an intelligent human being, so you should be able to understand quite easily and quite quickly. When the Quran says, bring a surah like unto it, so you look at the surah and say, it's a specific composition, the way it's constructed. It's an Arabic language using Arabic letters. But the way
ChatGPT destroys this.
the way it's constructed, if I want to imitate something like that, I realize I cannot, because it's something that unique within this construction and composition that it's making me unable. Shall I give you an analogy for you to understand from linguistics to normal material science? You see that building over there? Consider that's my building. You see it looks like a building made of bricks because it's like red, pink, right? Have a look.
Yeah,
That's the building. If I said, look, my building is such a building, you can never imitate a building like mine. And you say, why not? I'm an architect too. So I say, okay, come have a look at my building. And you go to my building and you see what? Every brick in that building is floating from every other brick in space. Floating in space. That's the whole building. Every single story is like that. Each brick is floating from the other brick. No connection whatsoever between the other brick. Would you as an architect be able to match and bring a building like mine? It's just rearranged in a particular way. The only difference is my bricks don't touch to another brick.
To be honest, I wasn't paying attention because I don't see how this relates.
Because you are not very sincere. If you were sincere, you would be listening. Oh, I've not heard about this before. So let me understand where it's going and let me debunk it, destroy it. Because that's what you were saying.
Which part of that you didn't
Now,
understand?
so let me repeat for you. Let me
I
repeat.
don't understand how it
No,
relates.
let me repeat it for you. Let me repeat it for
Like
you.
means.
So that building there, as you realize, it's made up of bricks. Arabic language is made up of Arabic letters. Alif, ba, ta, and so on. The Quran uses Arabic language. Alif, ba, ta, And the Quran actually demonstrates that in many of the surahs at the beginning. Alif Lam Ra, Taha, Yasin, Alif Lam Mim. Tilka ayat of what?
Where does it say that in the Quran? That's your correct criterion of light.
Different question. Let me come back to this point because I want you to understand in principle. So this building is like every other building. The only difference is the composition, the arrangement. So would you as an architect today, imagine you are the most famous architect that designed the tallest tower in Dubai. Yeah? Would you be able to make my building something like mine with every brick floating in space without touching each other? Would you be able to?
No.
Why not?
Because it would be the same thing.
You would not be able to because you realize the way it's structured, right? It's beyond your capacity. Because we know we can't put something in space like that. It's not metal, it's brick. If it was metal, you can use electromagnetism to generate some kind of force field around the brick. It's doable. That's why in Japan and many other places, trains run over a truck and it's not touching it. You know that, right?
Okay.
You didn't know? That's a reality.
I mean, sure.
That's a reality. So let's go back to the Quran. Bring a surah like it. Surah like it. How is the surah? The words and letters are arranged in such a way. It's like my example.
Finally, we're back. So, what we have to do is justify the criteria and show it meets the criteria. What's the criteria for like a surah?
I just told you, composition.
Composition? Yeah. Okay. I'll just pull up ChatGPT and just say composition.
You don't have to do that. Watch my video on ChatGPT on the Quran. I've done it over 1 hour. And the ChatGPT was almost about to make its declaration, I'm a Muslim. You know that? Some people commented. What are you going to ask next?
Like Lily J and her fake...
Wait. What I'm telling you, you can go and find out right now. Can you pull this video up? Right?
Yep, sure.
Just write on YouTube, ChatGPT, Quran Mansur, right? And you will see that video. People are commenting, are you going to ask the next question? Do you want to become a Muslim to ChatGPT? Because I gave the criteria.
What, and it said yes after you programmed it?
I gave the criteria. And the ChatGPT here is this video here.
That's the video.
This one, yeah?
Okay.
Maybe how many years ago? 2 years ago.
Okay.
So you're 2 years late, my friend. So what I'm saying is ChatGPT recognized based on the criteria that are offered, it is impossible for even a linguistic model, AI model, to produce something like the Quran, let alone a human being.
Yeah.
You need to catch up with what's happening in the reality, my friend. 2 years
You're
late.
saying ChatGPT said that. What model was that?
It was not version 4, it was version 3.4, something like that.
Okay,
Are you saying version 4 is going to do it? What has changed? Same criteria, Quranic criteria is the same. ChatGPT may have evolved to learn a different algorithm, but still the criteria has to match, and it knows it cannot match.
I'll do this right now.
Yeah. Do you know what the criteria are?
Composition, you said, one of them.
But what composition? What are the composition?
Okay, we'll
You didn't
type
ask.
it in. We'll type it in.
No, hang on. Be sensible and fair. Do you know what about the composition difference? In my example of a building, I gave you the structural composition difference. It's floating from every other brick. Okay. But in the Quranic example, I only used the word composition. Did you ask me how is composition different?
So
you should have asked.
What did you ask ChatGPT?
You need to watch the video, my friend.
It's a 1 hour video.
It's a 1 hour video. So I gave the criteria, for example, it has to bring the number of new linguistic novelties more than the number of words in the surah. That's one criteria. Because that's every single surah of the Quran is like this. It brings the linguistic
But that
novelties.
wouldn't be like it anymore.
Listen carefully. The Quran brings a chapter, a surah, and when you read it in the Arabic language, the composition is such that every statement has linguistic novelties.
Novelties, not like the Quran.
Try to listen first and
I
then
am
understand. You're not listening.
What
You're
did I not
interjecting.
listen
So when the Quran says, for example, it introduces a word,
Yes.
yeah, which it was not found in the Arabic vocabulary at that time.
Sure.
So it was a linguistic novelty, a new word based on the root structure, like alamin. When we say Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, the Arabs only knew one alam, one world. The Quran says no, there are many worlds. So for the Arabic language, how can you speak about something like, if I told 500 years ago, if I spoke to you in English, it's because of a globalization problem, my friend. Would you understand what I mean by globalization? Because no such word existed, no such concept existed. Globalization is a new word, derived from globe.
Okay.
Right? So the Quran introduces many of these features. One of them is a word that it derives from a root structure of the Arabic language, but it has a different word altogether, and it has a different meaning
So you're saying
altogether.
even makes up words?
No, it's not making up. A child who speaks gibberish.
Said novelties. What do you mean by novelties?
Good question. That's what you should be asking. So when a child speaks gibberish as they're learning language, yeah, akot. My children used to say, I want to write in akot, but actually it's kagoj. Kagoj is a paper, there's an akot, right? So they make up all this word. But it doesn't mean this is something this is a word everyone says is going to be eloquent. We will say, this gibberish, they misunderstood the word kagoj. When the Quran came up with all of this word, every single new derivation, linguistic novelties, were the most eloquent, most befitting in that structure.
Surah like Surah 1?
Okay, tell me, go on.
I can't read Arabic.
Then how can you say it's like it?
How can you say it's not? Like, can you show me it's not
I'm gonna. Yeah. Okay. Show me a linguistic novelty in every, not in this surah, that goes more than the number of the words in the surah. How many words are in the surah? Count and tell me how are the new linguistic novelties exceed the number of the words in the surah?
And a regular surah does that?
Every single surah does that.
Every single surah?
Every single surah has more linguistic novelties than the words within that surah. You didn't know that?
No, I didn't. Can you show me?
You don't know Arabic language.
I can show you the work that Objectivity done.
I guess I can't become a Muslim because I can't be.
I can show you. Shall I show you a sample, an example?
Yes, please.
It's been published by a scholar called Dr. Bassam Sa'i, and he's done about 16, 17, 18, about 19, 20 examples, smaller ones and one big one, and demonstrated how. He has 2-chapter book, yeah, called Al-Mu'jiza. The Mu'jiza, the miracle. As we're talking about the miracle, his book is called The Miracle. And he writes, the first chapter is about methodology. How do we understand what the surahs is saying? What sort of compositions and so on. And second volume, is all about application of the methodology. Purely scientific approach. And when you look at the now...
Scientific? Sorry, continue.
Muslims are the one who gave you the scientific methodology. Be humble, right? If it wasn't for the Muslims, you would be in dark ages. When Europe, even the Queen of England didn't have a bath for a month. In Islamic Spain,
the Greek class.
hello, listen. In Islamic Spain, we had underground sewage system, overground lighting system. So be humble. Islam, you are so much indebted to it that you should recognize it. Thank you for Islam that we are not living in the dark ages.
Is that our criteria? Is that our criteria?
No, because you laugh.
You don't have any criteria.
You mocked at the Islamic brother. You mocked at the Islamic civilization. If it wasn't,
I didn't mock.
Yes, you did.
I just said science.
Watch the video.
Okay.
Because it was Muslim scientists in the Islamic world. Because of them, the Europe came out of dark ages.
The backbone of the rib.
You want to talk about it? What does it say? Go on, let's talk about it. Let me debunk you and skin you alive with arguments. What does the Quran say?
I don't know.
Then why are you talking about it?
So you're bringing an argument you don't know.
Just be
educate
humble. That's what I'm
yourself.
saying.
Humble.
Be humble.
Do you know it?
Of course. I've been dealing with it for the last 30 years when I've been in Speaker's Corner. You can see, I'm going to put up some videos about it. It's there. It's all online. You are so many. Were you living in a different world? It's there in the internet if you want to find it. We talked about it. We debunked it.
I mean, to be fair, I don't even know who you are, so.
It's not me. This subject matter, if you type in, do you want to just type in without my name? Good, do it now.
I'm recording
No,
right now, but.
no. Do you want to do it on your phone? And see if my video comes up or not. Yeah. I've talked about it.
So, wait.
How
do I know Islam is true?
I will tell you. Because Islam gives the falsification test, which no one is able to falsify. So still the claim stands, the Quran is from God. So just type in.
Can't falsify, then that
tell
means
me,
you don't know if it's true.
can you search on his phone? Go on, YouTube. Just search.
What do I search?
About what you just said, about backbone, ribs, whatever issue. Go and search it on the YouTube.
Backbone and ribs?
Yeah.
What am I searching?
Just search
That's
Quran,
what
backbone.
Quran, backbone, whatever you want to search.
Quran.
You make up the search criteria because that should have been coming on your feed, right? When you search for it, the answer would have been there already. It's done. Why do I have to reinvent the wheel again? Not me, personally. I'm not being arrogant, but I'm saying it's already done. Okay. Oops. Sorry. Oh, look at that. Do you recognize him? This is my Dawawi's logo cap.
I can't see. I mean, okay.
Debunking the claim. Oh, even debunking. Does the Quran say sperm comes from the backbone? Look, it's me with the same Dawawi's logo cap.
Okay.
Oh, my friend, you're living in the dark ages. Anyway, continue.
Yes, Hashim, not me.
Okay, how
so
do I know
why Islam is true? Why Islam is true? Why Islam is true is because the overwhelming evidence that when the Quran offers falsification test, I only give you one.
Okay.
Every human being recognize that this has been a failure from the people to imitate the Quran. So no one matched it.
Okay.
So this is a living testimony.
You want me to give a living testimony too?
Yeah.
How Christianity is true according to his criteria? Bring a person like me.
Looks like he's here.
And
for
that's
the
proof of
Why does
Christianity.
why does the Bible say bring a person like you?
It doesn't.
Then don't
It
bring
just
that
says
up. But the Quran does. So you need to really be
But a person-
consistent.
You know, we
So
gave you
we
the
gave you a
falsification.
criteria
but
based
I'm
on the
giving
Quran.
you- okay.
You did not give me a criteria based on your Bible.
No, I didn't.
Why do you think
So
the Bible is
try to give me a criteria based on the Bible.
It's based off of the denomination I'm making up right now.
Oh, you're making it right now?
Yes.
Right. So
Yes.
you're saying bring someone like you?
Yeah.
You're yourself. There you
I
go.
am myself.
Okay. Okay.
No, it has to be like me and
Okay.
something else.
And would you believe by then?
Sure.
If I bring, wallahi,
DNA.
by God, if I bring a people like you, exactly like you, would you believe Islam is true?
No, but we do agree that he's from God, so we don't deny that.
You really
You're
think
unique,
so?
but you're from God.
You
We don't
really
deny that.
you really think so?
What you
you
have
are
to
lying.
prove to us
You
is
are lying.
why do you think the Bible
Because
is
there are people in the Quran, it says, even if they saw stairs ascending to heaven, they will still not believe. You are one of those.
Where's the stairs ascending to heaven?
The Quran says, even if they could see it,
That's it?
they will not believe it.
I could say the same thing to you, even
No,
if
I'm
I
saying-
showed you proof of
I'm
the
just-
resurrection.
You have no
okay, you
proof.
would not.
Hang on. There is no proof that Jesus died in the first place. Give me a proof that he died. I'm challenging you directly.
Let's go with Josephus.
Josephus? Okay, do you have the writing of Josephus?
Yeah.
Where is it? Give me a contemporary writing of Josephus.
Antiquities, chapter.
And when is the earliest manuscript of Josephus?
No camera.
The earliest manuscript?
That's his writing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, give me a contemporary writing of Josephus. That I can check and say, oh, he actually said it.
I don't understand your question.
If Josephus said it, I want to see his writings. Where is it?
I don't have Josephus. You can look up Josephus's writings.
I know it doesn't exist, my friend, until the 11th century. 11th century. So
No,
don't just waffle.
Josephus's writings were in the second, first century.
Do you have anything to offer me before that time? Before the 9th century?
Yeah, Origin
Where
quotes
can I-
him. Origin talks about
No,
it.
that's
What are you
Origin talking about. That's Origin talking about it. Origin claiming. Where does
What
Josephus?
what is your question?
My question to you, Apollos, is this. We want contemporaneous evidence.
Okay.
Do you know what contemporaneous evidence means?
Yes.
From that same time, at that time.
Give me a whole Quran.
Excuse me,
contemporaneous with
I'm
Muhammad's life.
debunking your criteria.
You're
right?
the one who
So
asked
your
me.
criteria.
I never
you
said that's a
you
criteria.
said you
I
said
never said that's
the
a criteria.
proven evidence I have of the resurrection is Josephus.
I never said that. I said that's a source.
It's that?
One of many, like Tacitus.
This source,
Like
to me,
Pliny the Younger.
is
Like-
not credible source and acceptable. You know why?
Why?
Because I don't have the writing of Josephus from the time of Josephus.
He wasn't even an eyewitness.
Okay, then.
Was he an eyewitness?
show-
Excuse
show-
me. Wait. Was you an eyewitness?
No.
Grow up.
Was Uthman?
Grow up. Usman brought
One was an eyewitness.
the eyewitness
Was an
testimony for every single verse of the Quran.
And
Was he an eyewitness? To
Yeah,
Listen,
Uthman himself
he was an eyewitness.
He wasn't an
And-
eyewitness
and-
to Jibreel. the
Listen,
angel. He
listen,
didn't see the
listen.
angel.
Every single verse that he collected in his Quran
Every
was
single
from.
verse that Josephus.
Can I finish my statement? Then you can
information
bring.
that he got from the crucifixion.
Hello. Let me finish.
There you go.
Let me finish. It's not there you go. I will debunk you even better if you want. So,
I missed the part where you debunked.
of course you'd miss it because you're blind
Yeah.
and you don't see. It's not your eyes that are blind. It's your
I
heart
actually am
that are
half blind,
blind.
by the way.
I do apologize. I didn't mean that way. I meant your heart is blind.
Okay.
Okay. So,
Your heart is blind too.
your opinion here is
opinion here
misplaced.
is misplaced.
My opinion
My
is
opinion
justifiable.
is
Do you know why?
justifiable.
Look, this for is not. I can justify my opinion. So, when Josephus writes, we have none
I
of
want
his.
to talk about Islam though, because I'm
Are you
questioning.
scared about
Okay.
Christianity?
It's okay. It's okay.
What if I am?
Now, Quran
Yeah, we're
Quran
shaking.
gives us evidence that it is from God. Do you know how it does that? It gives you positive evidence.
Since he
Do you know
started.
what they are?
Maybe he's got a.
Positive evidence. It's from God.
Okay, positive.
It provides information that could not have been known at that time.
Like what information?
You want to know?
Yes.
Okay. So the Quran talks about that the embryo of a human being goes through successive stages and it describes those stages.
Yeah.
Because of the absence of microscopes, I'm sorry, Dai. So because of the absence of microscopes, there's no human being at that time, not even any aliens that was on planet Earth, if you believe in that. I don't know what you believe. They could not have described with this level of precision and knowledge about the human embryological development that goes in the womb of a woman.
Okay, can you show me the embryo stuff in the Quran?
The Quran talks about how God creates from a stage of a nutfa, which is a drop like.
What surah?
Surah 23. Excuse me.
What verse?
Just a few verses later. Excuse me. Okay, let me help you. Here you go.
I just want
Quran,
to double check and correct it because otherwise you're going to another chapter, another surah, another ayah.
Surah number 23 Al-Mu'minun is here and here. It's what, verse 12 or something around this time. But anyway, yeah. Verse 12. Exactly, verse 12. And God created human beings from an extract of clay. Then He made
Embryo is
him.
not clay.
This is about the first creation. Adam alayhi salam. Was he made of tin or clay?
Clay?
Clay.
I don't know.
In the Bible, it's clay. Then He made into a nutfa and made it in a secure place. Yeah. Then They created this nutfa into alaqa, and then from this alaqa to mudgha, and then the mudgha to idham, and then He did the kiswa of the idham with lahm. What it means is the stages are nutfa, like a drop-like stage. Then that became something like an alaqa, something that is clinging, something that is suspended, something that.
There it is.
Yeah.
We made the clot into a little lump of flesh, and
No,
then
before-
we made
Before that, alaqa.
a little lump of flesh.
Alaqa. I'm starting with alaqa.
No. The flesh. See. Even in there, you got the ordering of the flesh and bones wrong.
So you don't want to talk about the first 2-3 stages. You want to move to the flesh and bones? Let's do that.
Yeah.
Once again, did you ever read this verse before?
Not in Arabic.
Okay, that's okay. It's okay.
Now we are
It's
finding
okay.
the mistakes.
Now,
We didn't know what-
so the
why-
Quran says
why we
the
were finding
Quran.
mistakes.
Okay.
Okay. Then show me where.
honest, man.
I am being.
It's
I
okay.
never
It's
said
okay.
anything.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
So the Quran says.
Where does it not say flesh? Is flesh?
The Quran talks about how the God made the alaqa into mudgha into idham. So from this, so you have now 12,
No,
13,
that's 14.
yeah, 14,
Quran 23:14. Yep.
yeah.
And
Then-
for those of you who don't understand what we're talking about,
You don't have to give a commentary. Excuse me. You don't need a commentary.
Everyone
They can
knows
make up their
what
mind,
you're talking
right?
yeah, they can make.
They can make mind. You don't need to tell them. They can make their mind. Let's have a discussion to me. Are you going to have a discussion with them? Once you finish, then I'll come and talk. Go on.
No, we're not listening to him. We don't want to listen to him.
You want to talk to them? Go and talk to them. But they're going to talk back to you. They're not going to talk back to you, right? So if you want to talk to
Why are
me,
you recording in the first place then?
education.
Okay, then
Just
I'm
like
education.
what education you are talking to me? Are you going to talk to them? Once this once this conversation is over, it becomes part of education. But as we are discussing, we should be discussing to us. I'm not going to speak to a pigeon over there, am I? There's not going to be no discussion, no education. So here,
Okay, then I'll just tell you that
excuse me.
it got the ordering of when the bones and the flesh
Okay.
wrong.
Do you
Were made
study?
wrong.
Do you study science, or do you understand science?
Computer science.
Medical science, biology, physiology,
Do you
anatomy.
I mean, I'm not.
Do you understand?
I'm not a doctor. I understand it.
Good, you understand it. Fine. What you understand is, give me the understanding from biology and development biology, anatomy. When the embryo goes through the processes, the sequence. When does the precursors of bone start, and when does the precursors of muscle start? Is it simultaneous? Is it one before the other? Go on. ChatGPT? No. You tell me.
What if I don't know?
No, you said
I'm
you know.
just curious.
You
I'm
said
just
you know.
curious. No,
You
all I
brought.
No, you said
Excuse
you know.
me.
Yeah, I know.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
If you want to have a conversation with me, stop writing. Sorry. Stop typing.
Hold on.
Stop typing. No, stop typing.
ChatGPT will
Stop
not help
typing!
to demonstrate it, like-
Is flesh.
Okay, there you go. Excuse me.
You were medical
I'm sorry.
just a minute ago, and now you need to go to ChatGPT.
I'm sorry, I cannot have a conversation with you. Do you know why?
Why?
Do you want to know why before I go?
Why?
Yeah. You said the Quran got it wrong. Did you make that statement out of ignorance of or knowledge? Did you know it was wrong?
I mean,
Did you make that statement out of knowledge or out of ignorance?
I use evidence to what I knew to the best of
So
my
you
ability.
knew
I might be
already.
ignorant a little bit, like how to read Arabic.
It's not about Arabic. We were not discussing Arabic. I didn't even quote the ayah in Arabic. I spoke to you in English. Right. So you knew about the order, right? So you checked with biologists. You checked with medical professionals, did you? Because I did.
Okay.
I expect you to have done the same. So according to the medical science, give me the order.
Bones.
Yeah?
And then
Where can I find that information? Now try ChatGPT. Give me a medical textbook.
You're embarrassing yourself, man.
If you rely on ChatGPT
I mean,
for
I'm
your
just
life,
here to learn. I'm just here to
but
learn.
that's not a learning though. That's not a learning.
You said you know it, and
That's
you know
an
Quran is
embarrassment.
false, and now it's
It's
just
an embarrassment.
embarrassing.
If you're gonna learn, can ask questions, and for clarification, we can do that. But what we're doing
Just
is
admit you
we're
don't
just
know.
Oh,
debunking
sorry,
your
flesh
claim.
comes before bones. Flesh comes before bones.
And the evidence for that from the scientific world.
We got
You're not trained
University of
enough.
Gajah Mada,
Sorry?
some universities.
Yeah, go on. Read the text.
Did you quote from the Shia?
During the embryological development, that you have the precursors of flesh developing from the precursors of bones in a chronological sequence before that. Let's hear some text. Because I can give you otherwise. I had water. Jazakallah khair. I have water.
Do you have
I really appreciate it.
do you have evidence that
I am not going to give you evidence. You make the claim, substantiate your evidence.
wait,
because
wait, no. You made the claim that Surah 23 is miraculous. You made the claim.
And you made the claim it's wrong. You need to prove how it's wrong. You need to prove how it's
No,
wrong.
he's the one who made the claim.
I
No,
said
you said it's wrong, and you need to prove
people
how it's wrong.
could not
And you
have
said
known it.
all
you
I'm
said
doing is
one
holding
second, one second. You said you studied it, and you had education in this matter, and now you need to prove it.
I never said I had education.
But you said it was wrong. Based on your what?
How did you
But
conclude?
you said it was right.
No, how did you conclude it was wrong?
No, it's okay.
How did you
I just
conclude
didn't,
it was wrong?
I didn't conclude it was wrong. I just didn't conclude it was right.
You said it was wrong. You can't just say.
Did you
something's
say-
wrong
did you say it was
when
wrong or
it's a
not?
matter of
Did you say it or not?
information from medical science.
Did you say it
You
was wrong?
claimed it to be
on
wrong.
slip of the tongue, but I never said that it was
Slip
wrong.
of the tongue?
it's a
Okay,
slip of the
accept
tongue.
it.
Okay, accept it.
Slip
That's
of the
fine.
tongue. Right. If you want to know about science, you know what you have to do? Go to the scientists and ask them. Don't take my word for it. Ask them. You study biology, development biology, how the embryo develops. What can you offer me as a proof? Right? And evidence. So I can go and debate
Yeah,
the
so-
Muslim.
I think look.
So
Do
the
your
Quran
homework.
says
Speak
that
to me.
bones
No,
were
you
made
don't.
first.
You can't go there.
Where in
Listen,
reality
listen,
flesh was made first.
brother.
Oh, you-
Brother, listen.
so you again-
You don't go there because.
Did you see what he done?
He
repeated the same thing again.
One second. Look. You can't go there because you
where?
are not educated enough
Okay.
to discuss in this matter. Go. Maybe you went to some missionary stuffs and they said, okay,
Exactly.
Quran is making some mistakes about it,
You're
and you were
misled.
just throwing the words in front of. Like you can't do it now. It's
So
it's,
you-
it's in
you're
it's speaker's
misled,
corner.
right?
You're in wrong place with wrong people. So go, read it properly, yeah, and then come back once you study properly. Once you
What do
study
I study?
academically,
Speaker's
what do you
corner
study?
is
The
everyone's
things you discuss,
forte.
you study it before you embarrass yourself. You're embarrassing yourself. You're embarrassing Christian missionaries, and that's to the people. That's the face of Christian missionary. They will go to.
All I
just
did was
some-
ask a question. I just asked.
No,
a
you made
question.
assertions.
I
Uh-huh.
asked a
You
question.
made
no.
bold
In the beginning,
assertions.
I asked, how do you know Islam is
Now you made bold
You came to
assertions. Oh, Quran got the order wrong. Now, based on what? Based on your ignorance. If somebody makes claim based on their ignorance, we can just let it pass. And we will say, you have much to learn, my friend. You did not come to Speaker's Corner before. Now you are getting a real education. A real education, that's what it is. When you are confronted with
So
evidence.
can you show
Yeah.
me that bones are made first and then
No,
flesh?
look, what I am saying is, if you don't because I don't want to spoon feed you, it's already there on many of these videos. You've already seen one. Yeah, I don't want to reinvent the wheel, or rather, my current stance over the last 30 years of Speaker's Corner or more, I don't want to spoon feed people. I want to make people critical thinkers. I want to make them do their own effort, jobs, and they can learn and understand and develop and grow. So I want you, good for you. I want you to do the same for me. Go and study this subject, and if you really find something which is like again damaging against Islam, come and speak to me.
But you're the one telling me Islam is true.
Because I'm telling you what, because I have been coming in this park for the last 30 years or so, almost, right? It's very likely if I'm alive, I'll be coming again next week or the week after. So you can come back with your response.
I'm only here for the weekend because I'm from America.
Speak to people in America.
Join our live stream.
Muslims.
We have the live stream.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Join our online live stream. Dawah-wise.
Okay.
Have a live stream every Thursday, 5 p.m. onwards. You'll probably find me by 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock-ish, right? You can discuss with me further if you want. So Islam is true because, as I said, you cannot falsify it, even after falsification. I only offered you one, this many. Islam offers
Surah
positive.
23? We already saw he even got the order of the embryology wrong.
End of discussion.
Yeah.
Because you're not connecting. You're making
Yeah, I'm not
assertions again and
connecting. I'm not
again.
connecting to
When
the
I say
proof of Islam.
you don't have a tail behind you, I was still repeating saying, I have a tail, I have a tail. I
Because
cannot speak to you.
we didn't find you honest.
May God
You
give you physical stability
you're-
and mental stability
you're-
and make you help to understand
but-
what we discussed.
But
you're
one
saying-
advice.
you're saying
Listen.
that you can say 20
Listen.
Surah
Maybe that's
23.
the first and the last in speaker's corner. But one advice: when you speak to people, read before speaking to
Ran
people.
away.
Right? Oh, he ran away.
Yeah.
Everyone will see who ran away. So we can destroy you in every single argument, but the problem is you don't read, and you went to the Christian missionary and they fed you the lies and hypocrisy and bigotry, and you come out with this and you're embarrassing yourself, and we don't want to discuss. Educate yourself and come next week, otherwise come to our Friday live stream and we'll see over there.
Sure.
Alright? Take care of
Tell
yourself.
me where the Quran got the embryology right. It clearly got it
Educate
wrong.
yourself in biology and then come back.
Got it wrong.
Sorry, who is?
Finish?
Yeah.